I'm Broc Glover here, getting ready for the Salt Lake City round of the Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Walk, the final round of the 2023 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Series, and we're at Rice-Eccles Stadium here in Salt Lake City. And as a co-host, I have none other than the Mountain West local and past champion, Jake Weimer. Welcome, Jake.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, Jake, you grew up not too far from here, a couple hours just northwest here in Rupert, Idaho, and it's just a few hour drive for you. So you're used to this elevation. And tell us a little bit about Rice-Eccles Stadium. It's dear to your heart.
It is. It really is. I mean, as a kid growing up, when they brought the first race here, like I was here in the stands. They did it for a few years, and then it kind of went away for a little bit. But then I was sitting in these bleachers, dreaming of this, and then I was able to live a childhood dream and win a title here and wrap it up here. So that was really, really cool. So yeah, this is a unique venue. Little bit smaller floor space, and then you throw the elevation in there. It's a unique place for sure.
Well, you talk about the stadium. I was doing a little research about the walk, and I was so surprised that the stadium holds, now with this new expansion here in the end zone, they filled this in, and this is all brand new seating from the last time we were here. But the stadium actually holds 56,000 people.
Yeah.
I would have guessed 35 to 40, maybe with that addition, but it's bigger than people remember. And it's held the penultimate round, I think 12 times, and now it's the fourth time it's held the final round. And the year in 2020, when we had the 7 races here, at first everybody wasn't so sure about that with the pandemic and all, but when it was over, everybody loved Salt Lake City. They loved staying here and being here. So this race we talk about, this is round 10 of the West, 10 of the East, and round 9 of the West. But it is an East-West showdown, so we get to see the Lawrence brothers battle it out. Championships are all wrapped up. Honda swept all 3 championships this year, and with that being said, we get to see the gloves come off of the Lawrence brothers. They're not protecting championships, then they're going to go at it. So it's going to be fun to watch that in itself. Absolutely. And we have the KTM Juniors. This is 10 riders, and all of them have won a race, I believe, and they're all coming down. So it's a showdown for KTM Juniors, and you have a local, Mountain West rider racing in it too, right?
Yeah, we have a guy, a Let's Ride guy, that Jet Rao, who's number 1. So we're going to be pulling for him. So yeah, there's I think tonight the exciting races. I mean, we always love the 450s because it's a premier class, and those are the top of the top. But I think tonight what's going to be exciting, like we have the Junior Challenge with all the winners, so we're going to see which one's the best, and then the 250 showdown. So those are going to be the exciting ones. Like the 450s, we kind of know a little bit what we're going to get. It's always a race, and you got to get off this gate. But the 250s and the juniors, like those are going to be the fun ones. We want to see those 250 guys come together, the Lawrence brothers, and then there's a couple other guys in there, some star guys and some guys, RJ Hampshire and some guys that have shown speed. So we'll see. I think for me, those are the ones that I'm going to watch and really see. I think those races will be exciting.
Well, let's start on our track walk here. The one thing about this, you mentioned a little bit smaller floor, but they have squeezed in quite a bit of track. It's about 1,850 feet. I think it's 210 feet longer than last week's Denver track, which was our shortest of the year. So hopefully we're not going to see the 28-lap main event, which I think even the riders don't like that so much. But the one thing, a lot of misfortune this year with injuries of the top factory riders, but it's given opportunity for a lot of riders to have some career best finishes. We've seen Justin Hill really come on with a 4th place last week. We've seen Shane McElrath. We've seen the Kyle Chisholms breaking into the top 10. So in some ways, I really kind of like that. It gives them an opportunity. Hey, they're working on a better national number for next year. That's for certain for those who don't have career numbers. But it's fun to see these guys. They come off the track super excited, especially if they've ever haven't made a main event in the past and they make one. It's fun to see, but it's going to be neat. And you talked about the first time you were here in 2001 with Carmichael. That night, Timmy Ferry got 2nd place. And ironically, Timmy Ferry's son, Evan, is racing the Supercross Futures tonight. So a lot of those second generation riders, and it's, you know, the sport is, it's fun, and you've got a lot of good riders coming up and generations. Again, we talk about the KTM Juniors, then leads on to the Supercross Futures, and then we got the 250 class, which is a stepping stone to the 450. So the sport's in good hands right now. So coming off of this start right here, Jake, you can see the dirt's pretty good. Yesterday they had press day, and you notice how wet it is. Part of it they did water a couple spots, but man, oh man, I don't know if coming down from Rupert if you ran into that cloud, but it dumped here about 8:30 in the morning. It surprised us. Right now, 30-40% chance for the rest of the afternoon, and it should be good for the night. So track should be good, but yesterday it was a little dry and dusty, but they got it wet.
One thing about this place is that you know, if you look at the dirt and you look at the outsides of it, it's always a little bit rocky and it wants to get hard. So I think it will change so much throughout the day that the first practice, like, man, it's probably not going to look real pretty. Even the riders, like, it's such a, like, it gets better as the night goes on. And I think you're going to see this for sure tonight, where it really is wet and slippery. But this dirt always historically has wanted to get hard, you know, more of like a Phoenix or a Vegas. So where it's really wet right now, I think, you know, the riders will look better as the night goes on.
Yeah, and the program, the night program, is actually like an hour later, so it's not a day program, which is great. And with the overcast skies, it's supposed to stay partially cloudy all afternoon, so that also helps. Hopefully the wind won't come up, because the wind dries it out. We have low humidity up here at this elevation. But coming out of this corner right here, it's about 400 some feet before they're going to put the chalk line here. The corner's probably 250, and then it's a big wide 180. So speaking of 180s, it's a little bit of a unique track. I started looking at it and I started counting the 180s, and I realized there's only, you know, excluding the first corner because it's only used for the start, there's only 3 180s on the whole track, but there were, I believe, 8 or 9 90-degree corners. So it's a lot of 90s. Most tracks have 4, maybe 5 90s at the most. This one's got a lot, double that. So it's an interesting layout. So as the riders come off of this, not so concerned about the first corner, but the over-under jump is where the track they're going to be racing on. So in press day, pretty much everybody, as you would have guessed, you'd be singling onto the table right behind us that Abel can turn around and show us the table we're going to land on. And then that table right there, you're just going to go on off, and if we get up this thing without falling down, okay.
We're going to try.
Yep.
It's wet.
You got your best tennis shoes on there. Those things are brand new looking. They're going to get washed.
Well,
so
they were.
You should have known when I showed up in these sloppy old Sorel boots, so you knew it was going to be wet, right? So you come off on, and then right there, you know, you got a 5-footer, and almost every single rider was just doing the same rhythm here.
Yeah,
single
because
on.
I mean, there's not really any option, because even if you went over this table, you'd go 3 and then 3 again, but it's a 90, so you'd be coming in so hot. Like, yeah, you don't really have an option. You're going on, off, 3, 2.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake, because I did see Sexton yesterday in press on the 450 with a little more punch. You know, he was, as you mentioned, he was downsiding this table here, and then he was popping, you know, he was popping a triple into there, clearing the tall one, but then he was in a situation where he really couldn't triple out. And I don't know. There's no benefit for it. So we're gonna see what happens.
I'm just gonna run, so I got momentum.
You got it. So again, we talk about this tall one. Normally, the riders try to miss the tall 5-footers on the 450s.
Yeah.
But here at the elevation we are, they're using the 5-footers, and absolutely the 250 guys are doing that. So it was kind of fun yesterday at press day. I don't know exactly what happened, but Sexton jumped out on the track with the 250 guys. So it wasn't often I got to see him ride around with Hayden Deegan. And it's like, it's kind of cool to see, you know, I don't know if he was late for the press day and why he went out there the first session with the 250s, but it was fun. Somebody probably will tell us why, but it was fun to watch him race around with the 250 guys. So coming off of here, as you mentioned, into the corner, you got the triple landing there, double here, and into one of our 90 degrees we talked about earlier.
And then they're probably all gonna fade, wanna land here-ish.
Yep.
But then you gotta be careful with the wall because they're gonna wanna slam into the wall.
Yep, exactly. You mentioned the rock. We'll do these guys a little favor and toss this thing off to the side, but really did a nice job. Yesterday this next corner was really cool looking. They're hitting this corner right here, big steep bank, so you can come from the inside and blitz out. If guy lands up there on the outside, he can pivot a little bit early. And all he has to do is be just inside of, and if he gets a little extra run, gets on the gas a split second early, maybe he's carrying another mile an hour or 2 speed heading into this corner. And once you're on the inside, you know what happens in a 180 when the guy's on the inside.
This could be a good one because they got so much room here.
Yep.
And like you said, there's some options here. And yeah, you don't have much, like you can go that way, which wasn't my move, but you might see some guys laying over here.
Up over the top of the monster tough blocks. Yeah. So this is, if you're a rider on the inside of me here, you own the corner, Jake, and you know that. But what was really interesting here, this was an awesome corner yesterday to watch in press day. It had 3 unique lines. In the beginning, just kind of a typical center, go up a little high and pivot off. Then a line developed where you were entering outside, coming up high and turning down real aggressively. And then guys were coming really inside where you were talking about, and they had this really nice berm groove built. And you can see here all the confidence in the world because you've got a berm and then another part of the track on the outside. These guys were flying through here. It was so, the top guys on press day, they were pinning it through there. It was really fun to watch. So 3 totally unique lines.
Yep.
You know, outside down, you know, inside to the outside, and then one old middle one that finally at the end, nobody was taking. They were just using those 2 opposite lines. So heading right across the starting line again, come across the starting line first time, 180, back across the starting line. And this corner right here got really hard packed, but nobody ever looked like they got out of control or lost traction. It was kind of interesting because the dirt looked very dry and actually was throwing up some dust because it was, you know, just press day. They weren't really wanting to throw water on it, but the guys had lots of traction, and you can see there is a little bit of pebbles in the dirt here.
Yeah.
And you're familiar with this kind of dirt, huh?
Yeah. Well, and you don't see berms that tall very often.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see some guys ripping there, and they're gonna have a lot of confidence. And even it starts there, what we were talking about with the bank, because you know, like if you have something to lean on, you're good. And they have it 2 times, and then it comes to flat.
If you turn around right here, Abel, and kind of zoom back, you can see what we're talking about here, because the jump on the left of the special warfare tough block, that's actually coming at us, and then they head down the starting line. This corner, we came with the little Honda corner marker. They're coming at it, heading towards the finish line here. So the guys were pivoting off of that jump, kind of drifting to the left a little bit, and then right here, I mean, it was just magical watching the guys. I mean, Jet Lawrence, I mean, you know, he's coming through here, feet on the pegs, just pinning it, a little tiny bit of drift, and they're popping the finish line jump. So it was fun to watch, and this is going to be a good part of the track. So we're gonna have to get.
I might need to get some speed here.
Here, dude. Here. Give me your hand. There we go.
I didn't wear the right shoes.
I know. I should have warned you, man. It's always this way. So, typical double. Guys were commenting they felt the finish line jump here was a little steeper than normal. I didn't really notice anybody so much having that issue yesterday. They were all just kind of jumping it. But again, it's got to throw your timing off a little bit. You're used to your bike having a certain amount of power, and you know, you didn't do it. So last week, interesting guest, co-host John Tomac.
Yep.
You know, all year long I've had a few retired riders like yourself, Bill Apoto, Chad Reed, and Justin Brayton's kicked off the year at Anaheim. But having John Tomac talk about certain things, and really talking about the fact that at his track in Colorado, where Eli does his practicing, they do some things, changes to the bikes, you know, up the compression, maybe a tooth bigger on the back sprocket, give a little more punch, make the bike feel like more like it does at sea level. But here, this is right up the alley of guys like yourself that are practicing and born and raised at elevation.
Yeah, no, it just seems kind of normal to me. Like, until you spend time in California.
Yep.
Or wherever you're at. Hey, people really don't understand how steep this is.
Yeah. Last week,
it's so steep.
Last week we had one of the field ops guys do a backflip off a wall jump. It wasn't quite this tall, but it was impressive.
Yeah.
And it's vertical right there. Yeah, the guys yesterday, normally you don't see them clipping these tabletops like this, but yesterday they were clipping it until they got it figured out. So
yeah. And the backside is as steep as that.
Yep.
So if you clip here, like, I don't know how you with a camera, but like if you hang a
Abel's
tire.
Gonna try. Give Abel some props. He made it up that
Abel,
thing.
you got to show him, dude. If you hang a tire here, that is so steep.
Yeah.
That it don't really work good.
No.
I've done it one time. I scared myself bad in Vegas.
Yep.
And I had no choice but to just throttle because I was gonna clip it.
Yep.
And I went.
And you flat land it.
Oh.
Yeah. If you clip this with a rear wheel, you're
done.
You're going pile driver into the ground.
Yeah.
Here. So speaking of our KJSCs, or the KTM Juniors now they're called, but here they are coming out here. Do you recognize your guy here with the number 1? There's number 5, number 6. You guys excited about this?
Oh, yeah.
I recognize you. You got it. It's awesome. So all 10 or 12 of you, you're all winners, right? They've all won it around. What race did you win? Dallas. So you won Dallas. Yep, there you go, man. Well, congratulations on making it here to Salt Lake City for the finals, and good luck tonight, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. What's your name?
Beckham Smith.
Beckham Smith. Okay, we're going to be watching the number 6, Beckham Smith. Did you ever run number 6? I ran that a few years.
No, I just went by my age. 4, then 5.
you did that, huh? You just raced whatever age you were, huh?
Yes.
4 and a 5. There you go. I acted like I was 4 and 5 sometimes, but maybe 6. But yeah, there we go. So landing off of this, Jake, first corner. Now we're in the first corner where we started the walk. Right-hander, pancake flat, and then popping off of this, getting ready for another 90 we talked about earlier, and trying not to fall down on this mud. You got it?
Yeah.
Hey, you're doing good. Okay. So you're getting pretty good at track walks because you've got your own track up in Rupert. And tell us about your little facility, not this little facility. I looked at Google Maps, it's quite a big facility. So tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, we got the taco factory out there. It wasn't even meant to be anything, and then it was just the boys having fun, and we built a track, and now it's turned into, now we have a 2.5 minute outdoor track, Supercross track, pit bike track. You can water it from your phone. We're out there every day.
High tech, baby.
Yeah.
And you got the Snake River about what, 100 yards off? You can go fishing or do whatever, water skiing or whatever.
Fish, boat, we can, it wasn't meant to be like that.
Yeah.
But we turned it into the taco factory because we were doing Taco Tuesdays. So the boys would hang out, ride their bikes, and then the girls would cook us dinner, and it was Taco Tuesdays. So yeah, it turned into the taco factory, and now it's actually kind of, I don't know if that was a plan, but now it's kind of legit, and we have kids
that's cool.
Stay there.
Well, you might see me on Tuesday because you know that Jake knows this. I've had a house in Idaho since, believe it or not, when I wore the pink riding gear and got a little extra money there, put a down payment on a place in Idaho. So I've had a place here since 1984, I guess it was. And so it's only a few hours from Jake's house. So Taco Tuesday, I might come down and enjoy a carne asada taco or two.
Bring it in.
All right.
Bring it in.
Well, perfect. Well, speaking of coming from where you were one of the very first out of this area to really make it. But we've had Pierce Brown, Garrett Marchbanks, a couple of the guys you mentioned, some of the young kids coming up. Chance Hymas is now making his way up into the ranks.
Yep.
So this southwest or southeast Idaho corner, the Salt Lake area, what they call the Mountain West, it's actually starting to produce some top riders, and there's a lot of area to ride out here. So you guys have a good facility, huh?
So it really honestly started with Danny Smith.
Oh, you're right. Pride of Boise.
Yep. He was Boise, and he was a factory Suzuki rider for handful of years, Yamaha Troy.
Won Southwick National on Yamaha Troy, yep.
Podiums in Supercross.
Yep.
So he was kind of doing that when I was pretty young, you know, a kid. So yeah, he was really kind of the first one to start it. And then there was, you know, Cole Siebler was, you know, top 10 guy, like he was good. So, and I was buddies with him. So there was some things for me to see and watch, so that I was like, oh, okay, like you can do it. Like, all right.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So coming out of this section right here, got a little 90 and then right into a run of whoops here coming through here. Not particularly difficult per se. They don't look anything overly difficult. We had some really hard whoops this year, and they got very, very pucked out, rutted, cupped out. They got pretty darn nasty at times. Even the ones like at Nashville that we didn't think were going to be that hard turned out to be very difficult, especially had they had that dragon back leading into it. So the tracks on the track walks didn't appear that difficult, but by the time they got done with, you know, 25 plus laps in a main event, it became treacherous. And unfortunately, we got Justin Barsha injured and a couple guys got injured there. But it's this is not for the faint of heart here, huh?
No, because there's not really. You kind of either have to go 100 or nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're going to skim whoops, you know, big, small, peaked, round, however they are, a lot of what determines what makes them difficult or not is how the dirt shapes up, right? If they get really, really hard and slippery, then you don't have traction, and then you need a taller gear. Davey.
There you go. Speaking of another guy, Davey Millsaps. I was looking back at the record books here. You've got multiple podiums here, man. You've done really well here. What is it about this place that you always liked?
I don't know.
I don't. I saw a second, a third. You've had some top finishes.
So the one year that I got the second behind K-Dub, it rained, snowed, hailed, and it was really muddy, and I'm rather good in the mud. So I was just there on the podium, and then the next one was in 13.
Yep.
And the next one was the other one was in 12 as well.
Nice.
I led every lap until I passed him for the lead.
I chased you around the whole time, and then Dunge went by both of us, and I'm like, all right, well.
Gerke got me messed up in the last rhythm before the white flag, and I got passed. But I don't know if it's just the dirt, if it's how it was, how it developed. But altitude actually helps. Like, it slows the bike down so you can actually ride the bike. And you can rely on your actual skill and talent and pushing through versus relying on the power to get you around everywhere.
Very good. And you've been working with Juju, right? Yeah. Julian Bromer. Talking about a face right there. Come here, handsome, pretty face. Come here, boy. This kid right here, ex-jet ski champion and one unbelievably good motocross rider and incredible Supercross talent. But you've been winning the Supercross Futures. What, you've got 3 in a row now? What do you have, two or three in a row?
2 in a row.
2 in a row, 2 in a row. So last 2 races, Juju's won. Nicknamed Julian, sorry.
Yeah.
And so KTM picked him up. It's on the Orange Brigade team, and Davey's been working with him from Lake Havasu, not necessarily the hotbed of where Supercross motocross riders come from.
Sure.
But somebody,
it's a hotbed for sure, though.
It is, yeah. It's a real hotbed. So feeling good tonight? Got the last one on the line here?
Yeah, feeling good. Track looks pretty good this weekend. It was a little dry yesterday in press, but we got some rain this morning, so it should shape up pretty good today.
Well, good luck, man. It's going to be fun to watch you there. Number 29 on the KTM. There's a talent. There's an exceptional talent, actually. He's coming along really well, considering he wasn't somebody that just grew up constantly riding Supercross and motocross from the time he was a kid. I mean, he was a great jet ski racer. So coming through here and ripping through here, and you mentioned that darn guy Ryan Dungey passing you. So I'm involved with the AMA Hall of Fame, and there was that debate where once you're retired 5 years, you become eligible for being on the ballot in the Hall of Fame. Ryan was retired for 5 years, and somebody talked him in to come back and ride the Nationals last year. So there was
so he's got to wait again?
Well, we've thought about, do you reset the clock? So we run it by what's called the Executive Review Committee of the AMA Hall of Fame. It's above where I am, for certainly in the organization there. And they elected to let Ryan go onto the ballot, which was nice. So Ryan Dungey is on the AMA Hall of Fame ballot. So if you have the ability to vote, if you're an AMA lifetime member, or if you're in the Hall of Fame, or you're on one of the committees, you'll get to vote. So we're hoping that, actually I'm hoping that Grant Langston and Ryan make it in, because they're both on under the motocross, and it should be fun. And we also have Travis Pastrana, who, you know, you can argue one way or the other. You know, to me, I mean, I was actually the person that put his application in under the ambassadors and the industry, because he's done more for motorcycling general exposure than just about anyone of my generation.
Yeah.
And he introduced all the freestyle thing. I mean, he was on late night talk shows and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done so much. So it was overdue that he got on the ballot, in my opinion. You know, maybe not, you know, some people can say he didn't win enough championships or whatever it is in the competition. I don't even care about the argument. I just want him on the ballot. I want him in the Hall of Fame, because I think he deserves it. So I'm hoping for Grant. I'm hoping for Ryan. I'm hoping for Travis to get the votes to get in. And
they all deserve to be in it.
Yeah,
and I'm probably partial to Travis. Like, I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, watching him do what he did. And you talk about the championships and the wins and whatever, but like just the motorcycle rider.
Yeah, that's it. The motorcycle rider.
Unbelievable.
He's done so much for motorcycling exposure. And again, all the X Games, all the freestyle, all the things, crazy things he's done. He's got more eyes on two-wheel motorcycling than just about anybody that I know. So
they all three deserve to be on there, and they should all be in the Hall of Fame.
There's my Travis Pastrana rant that you have to have. So speaking of you, we just brought you up, Red Dog. There you go. Second place here, the very first year we raced here at Rice Eccles Stadium. Timmy Ferry's going to join us, but you're walking around with your son Evan here, because he's in the Supercross Futures. You got to talk right close to our mic.
Okay.
So, well, what are you thinking coming out here? Does it bring back memories back in 01 when you first raced here?
Yeah, it does. I was with our friends. We went out to dinner. I'm like, man, I think I was at the first one that they did here.
Yeah, 2001.
And, I can't remember if Ricky won.
Ricky won on a Kawasaki, and that was
McGrath was third, I think.
Actually, he finished sixth, I believe.
Okay.
Sixth, I believe. But that was the year Ricky was finally able to dethrone the king of Supercross. And but you must have been on a 450, or 426. 426.
And honestly, it was an advantage here. I feel like looking back on it, I was like kind of like, well, wow, this is easier for some reason to be up here. So I think the bike was just pretty fast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And son Evan riding. You're running number 15. What's your bike number?
175.
175. Oh, 175. I should have known that by now. I know I've worked with you in the Futures. I've worked with you in the motocross combines.
75.
Yeah, 75, and then you went. Yeah. So okay. So 175. Watching Evan Ferry tonight. So good luck tonight in the Supercross Futures. And Timmy, we brought you up earlier. In fact, that you were second, so it was really cool. Love the multi-generations there. What about you? What's your situation? You're gonna have your daughter gonna race moto or anything? What, you got generation?
Well, if she wants to, she can. She's got her STACYC and she likes ripping around, but that's her deal.
Yep.
If she wants to, I mean, I did it, so am I gonna tell her no? I mean,
that's it. So coming off that Dunlop 180 right there, after the
three on.
Yep, that's it. Coming out of this corner, it's pretty basic shot here. You just bust it up onto the 3 on, but basic for a 450. I don't know about the 250.
Right, yeah, that's gonna be
work
tough.
a little bit here. Yeah, you're gonna have to work a little harder.
250.
Yep. If not, you're gonna go 2. Treat the face of the table as a launch, and then you're gonna clear that one there. So a lot of guys were doing that actually yesterday too. They were doing 2 on, hitting, clearing, and then as soon as we get up here, Abel can turn around and see the big tall 5-foot jump here, and this was a pretty nice launching pad.
Well, if it got too hard, there is an option. I don't know about a 250, but a 450, they could go 2 from that table over the big one.
Yeah.
Because that's really big.
Yeah.
You're going to go really high.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're going to, but they could.
So we
it's there.
So we did not get to see the press day. The top riders, the pro riders, did not get to ride the whoops right here and did not get to ride this lane. It was only a short, I think it was 10 or 12 minute for the Futures. But so coming up this hill here, we'll see what happens once the top guys get to ride the whole track, but they rode most of it, just not this 2 lanes here. So again, coming off the 180, this rhythm section, now into another 180. So we've used up all of our 180s.
We've got them all down.
Got them all down. But what we saw yesterday that was kind of unique, and I've never really seen this in press day, too many of these transfers. So these guys were told they had to come here. They kind of expected them to ride around here.
So they were jumping off the
berm.
Right,
sure.
Yeah.
They're transferring over the top trying to see what they could get away with. But after a while, some riders all figured out. You can see some marks here.
Yep.
They figured out, well, I'm going to be coming at this angle, so I'm going to try to right here, I'm going to just do the best I can, simulate what I'm going to be doing on the race day, to where so it'd come wide, then they would come real wide, because what they were trying to do is hit the small single, clear the big 5-footer, and then clear the single afterwards.
Yep.
No problem, 450. 250 guys, they were working really hard,
yep,
because they were coming at such a low speed at the entrance. Tonight, they'll be coming in with more speed, so they'll be able to hit this, come right off of this, and if you're not doing this, you're going to be losing a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you've got to clear the little knob.
Yeah,
here.
you don't have any options here, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going into a triple. You don't have any options. You got to get over it. So
and you think about this is like a 5-footer. They say theirs are 3. I'm not buying it. That's 2 feet, 2.5. That's not 3. So this little knob. Alex and the boys at Dirtworks were a little friendly, because
they made it nice. They made it nice.
Yeah, this is an elevation-friendly jump. There's no question. So
yes.
They're doing some stuff here. How are you, man? How are you guys? Good. Yeah. It's our boys from yeah, they're fashionable, but at least I'm walking on the dirt. You're in the sidewalk there. That's cool. The guys from SLR Honda. I don't know how many times they've won Baja. They've won Baja a whole bunch of times, and Mark Samuels, those guys are,
Mark, how many times?
How many times you won Baja? 7.5. Half? We'll have to get that story later.
Well, I guess we'll figure that out.
For sure 7, that's we know, right? Okay, so 7. All right, we'll do the story over a beer or something. Okay, so off of here, boom, this is a stock standard triple. Last week, Denver, elevation, no triples.
Yeah,
that's one of the first tracks I've ever seen with no triples. So here, this one, no problem. They were all jumping it with their eyes closed, as you know. It's a resting area for guys like you, right? You just grab a tear off and call it.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
catch a breath.
Yep, something you might need to, huh? That's
The triples are the easy part, but ironically, when I was racing, I would never walk over the triple because they look kind of scary. So I'd just be like, all right, I'm not even gonna look. I'll just walk around it and then just jump it.
That's funny you say that.
I didn't want to walk over them.
I had the same feeling. I didn't like to watch crazy jumps and triples and things, and I always had the same thing, and I still get that feeling today. So those people have watched a lot of these track walks throughout the year. I kind of say the same thing. They're like, yeah, it's a 62 foot stock triple, and I'm like, man, that's a long way.
Yeah, but you walk it and it's steep, and then you're standing on the top and you see the landing and you're like, ugh, that could kind of go bad. So yeah, I didn't even want to see it. I would walk on the side so I knew the distance, and then you put the goggles on and you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do.
Good, that's a good one there. Justin Brayton said that. He said there's like a goggle view and then a standard view, and the goggle view is always, for him, it was
much
always
easier.
Much
easier.
There we have Marvin Muskin over there. It's I think he's won twice here. 2-time winner, Marvin, here, twice. There you go, brother. 18 and 21, 2018 and 21. Marvin, 2-time winner here. Actually, Cooper Webb, I think, has the most. I think he's won 4 times, because it's kind of, there was a doubleheader one of the years just recently in 21, I think, but in 20, this is, as we mentioned earlier, they had 7 rounds here.
This will be interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because that's so sharp.
Yep.
And then, you have to obviously get over that. So, I mean, your natural instinct is going to be to want to go this way.
Yep.
But they made that so sharp. So, will they leave it? I don't know.
I don't remember that being there yesterday. Honestly, I didn't get all the way over here and looking at this. I was watching mostly from over in those areas. That might be something they added. Try to give 2 lines here. So there we go. Is this our man from Montana? There it is, buddy.
That's our guy.
Well, Jake's been telling me all about you coming down from Montana. He's got the #1 plate. What race did you win? No. Anaheim won, so that's why you're #1. You won the first round. And what's your name so everyone knows?
Jet Rao.
Jet Rao, there you go. #1 tonight in the KTM Juniors, and Jake knows him he's a Montana boy up here in the Mountain West area, so good luck tonight, and hey, we're going to be watching the #1 plate. There we go.
Make us proud.
So, that's right. That's pretty cool, man. I love it. Can you imagine? I mean, I got when I was 15 or something, I got to race Anaheim. And the first Supercrosses they ever had there as a high school state championship. We were the intermission, kind of like the Supercross Futures. It was overwhelming to be in the stadium at that age. These guys are doing it in 6 years old, 7, 8 years old. It's crazy that they get to come out here, be treated full factory with those KTM electric bikes. And so, again, they're coming up here. I'm sure even the little kids are going to be jumping this one, no problem, especially the fact that all the riders that are here have won a race. So that's nice.
You got the best of the best here with the juniors, so
is.
That'll be cool.
It is. And
have they ever done that? To where all the kids that have won have raced together? Because it's going to be more competitive tonight.
I'm looking for somebody from KTM that we would know. There's Jamie. Let me go see. Maybe we can grab one of the KTM staffers and they can tell us, and then we can kind of wind it up because we're coming back along right here, jumping back onto the starting line to complete our lap. But we're going to find out right now.
Because I don't think that they have. That would, like, not that I know of.
Tammy, I got to grab you for our track walk real quick. Excuse me for a moment. Have they ever done a showdown where all winners show up? Have they done that?
I am the wrong person.
No,
to
who
talk
knows?
To.
Okay.
Jennifer is the. I'm
Jennifer,
just a
come
helper.
on.
Jennifer, come on.
Jennifer, all right. Jennifer, have they ever done?
I'm not good on camera.
Have they ever? You're not good on camera. Neither am I. That makes two of us. So the point is, have you ever done a KTM Junior where it's just nothing but winners?
Yeah, this one.
This one.
Nothing
But before that. Previous years?
We did it at Monster Cup. When Monster Cup was a thing, that's when we would invite all of the round winners to do our championship round in Monster Cup. And now that that's no longer a thing, we battle it out here at the last round.
Well, then Jake Weimer, I think you technically you got it right. So this is the first time in Monster Energy AMA Supercross at the final round that we've had all just winners.
No, this is the second time.
Second time?
We did it last year, too.
Oh, okay, last time. Second time. There we go. Okay, you get us.
Right.
You're second on the podium. Thank you, Jennifer, for clarifying. So I think
now we know.
We should have known that, but we didn't. So, you know what? We're going to forgive ourselves. So.
Yes.
Well, completed the lap. What's your thoughts? Now all of a sudden the sun's come out and we're nice and warm. We don't have to have jackets on maybe, but this is very, very been a remarkable series, a remarkable season. A tiny bit anticlimactic at the end, but we're going to be watching, as you mentioned, the 250 showdown. We're going to be watching the Supercross Futures to see who's going to be here in another year or two.
Yep.
We got these KTM Juniors out here, going to show who's going to be here in another decade. But Jake, I really appreciate you coming down and helping with the co-host. And tonight, you're going to receive the Legends and Heroes Award, another award that's long overdue to someone like yourself. I mean, I just want to ask you one of the things. One of my most memorable things in my life was being involved in when I raced Motocross of Nations, there was actually 2 weekends. There was a 500cc called Motocross of Nations and a Trophy to Nations that happened the following week that were on 250s. And if you remember the Americans, the first year they ever won it, the all Honda team in '81, they won both races and just swept it, and it was really remarkable. You were on the teams that were just 3 riders, yourself, Ryan Dungey, and Ivan Tedesco.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. I was there in Italy. It has to be, for me, it's one of the proudest moments of your racing career to be able to race for America. So tell us about your '09 victory there in Italy.
It was amazing. I mean, honestly, I was never considered myself an outdoor guy or, but I worked super, super hard, and I really put everything I had into it. There was a couple guys hurt that year, like Villapoto. I don't remember exactly, but Dungey and I were on 250s. He won that series, and so all the talks about how do you fit the best American team, and even at the time, people were like, "Oh, Jake Weimer, really, what?" And I wasn't really an outdoor guy, honestly, but I had won a few races, and I was the guy. So, and we won, and it was the most stressful race of my life, honestly.
Yep. I remember you tipping over, I think it was in a qualifying heat or something. You tipped over.
I did.
And it didn't look like that was, oh no, we got a panic-thon, and what do you do kind of a thing. And I'm sure everything in the world ran through your head. And then it was a big battle. Was it Dungey's first 450 ride also? He came up from the 250 Suzuki onto the 450, so he stepped up. Ivan was on Honda that year, right? On the factory Honda, was it?
Yeah, they were both, honestly, they were incredible. And I knew we were going to have, but I had nothing to lose. Like, nobody really thought we were going to win, honestly. So
you were another one of the B teams that were,
no, we literally were the B team. And I was like, whatever, man, I'm going to give it everything I had. My goal was to not have the throwaway moto.
Okay.
And I did. But the other guys, Ivan, Ryan, like, they stepped up. Like, I feel like as a team, like, man, we played as a team. We handled it that way.
Yeah.
Nobody thought we were going to win. And I really feel like, you know, I don't know if I had the best performance of my life, or, you know, I think Dungy was amazing.
Hey, nobody
Ivan
cares.
was good.
You guys won. And
We won.
And you
We won.
are a Motocross of Nations champion rider for Team USA. There's nothing you can do to take that away.
No, and it was
exactly.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it.
Well, again, so Motocross of Nations champion rider and Supercross West champion, right? You won the championship right here in Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Yep.
So thank you, Jake, for joining us. And
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. 17 of these. I can't believe it's already gone by, and we'll have to look forward to the 2024 season. But again, thanks so much for tuning in to the Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Report, and here from Salt Lake City.
Thank you.